Long Island audit.
Good evening, Sean Paul Reyes. It's good to see all of you again, minus Councilman Russo, who told me to go back to Long Island. But I'm pretty sure that was a pretty ignorant statement you said, Councilman, as there are a lot of Long Island residents, former Long Island residents here in the city of Melbourne, including family of mine. I can see that the mayor is not here today. This is the second city council meeting. And, I'm mainly talking to residents here of the city of Melbourne because these people, they don't listen. They're not listening. They're just looking at me and waiting for me to stop and waiting for my 3 minutes to go. The city attorney, the city manager, an attorney last time, I wasn't here, an attorney came up here and told you and gave you evidence that I uncovered through public records requests that the mayor voted on a resolution giving $500,000 of the ARPA money, American Rescue Plan money, to Space Coast Habitat for Humanity. The mayor, who owns a roofing company, he voted for it, and then he signed the resolution.
All right, guys, buckle up, because what you're about to witness is not just another city council meeting. This is straight-up tension exploding in real time. A speaker steps up and doesn't hold back, calling out the mayor's absence and raising serious allegations of corruption. Missing meetings, hidden actions, and silence from officials. This already feels like something bigger is being covered up. And trust me, this is just the beginning.
Giving that money to Space Coast Humanity. The mayor was paid almost $10,000 from that federal money. How is that not corruption? How are not any of you, how are any of you just sitting there not speaking up about this? And then after I do it, conveniently, the mayor's in New Orleans, the mayor's speaking on behalf of some sort of, airport meeting. He hasn't been in town for the last 2 meetings to address the constituents regarding what I've uncovered. You have the evidence, you have the checks written out to Outraged Roofing, and Space Coast Humanity has given the mayor over tens of thousands of dollars separately besides the federal money. Do you want a mayor who is going to vote on resolutions giving money to companies, and whether they're not-for-profit, whatever, and then receiving money as a kickback, what it looks like to me, a kickback? Is that what the residents want? Is that what you guys are supporting here by remaining silent? The Melbourne PD not doing anything about it? It's blatant corruption that's taking place. Larry Johns, I'm sure that's the developer you're talking about with the parking garage, right, city manager? Best friends with the mayor. He's doing that. How does he get all these contracts? Is it voted right? You're vice mayor. I thought you were cool. I seen some pictures of you with Larry Johns too. You're all in bed together. What are you all just getting kickbacks? This is ridiculous. Larry Johns is a problem. He's the mayor's friend. The mayor goes on his Facebook page and promotes his businesses, gets him city contracts. Larry Johns' wife, best friends with the mayor, in cahoots with Space Coast Humanity. Put the dots together. I did the investigation. Melbourne PD, do something. The FDLE is investigating. I will have an interview with the FDLE soon. But you guys are supposed to represent the people. You guys are supposed to represent, not the mayor. He's a lame duck mayor anyway. He is stealing from the people. And you guys...
Now things get heated. The accusations hit harder. Claims of federal money being misused, contracts being handed out, and alleged personal gain tied to public funds. The crowd reacts, the room stiffens, and officials sit there under pressure. Alright guys, this is where accountability should kick in, but instead, we're seeing hesitation, silence, and discomfort. When leaders avoid answers, it raises one simple question: what are they hiding?
I need to do something about it and stop being silent.
I have some deep concerns about our mayor. Okay, as a business owner in this community for the last over 20 years, I've heard some serious allegations. Okay, very serious allegations, and they're concerning to me. Okay, so I'm concerned about what's going on with that and how is the council handling this, or because I hear nothing about it. Okay, the fact that the mayor has not been at the last 2 meetings is troubling to me as well. It's like something's being voided. Okay, I'm not saying that what he did, that he did or didn't do something. I'm saying I've seen some serious allegations. Okay, I would like to know how that's being handled through this council. If they are found to be true, what are they going to do if they are found to be true? If the mayor is innocent of this, then he should be left alone. I agree with that as well. Okay, but I just want to know, how is the council going to follow up with this matter? Because I know there's some serious allegations, and I know that other residents have some concern about this too. Again, let's get back to this accountability issue. If the mayor is guilty of these charges, he should be held accountable 100%. If he's not, then he should be free to go on with his life and be left alone. Thank you.
A year ago in July, I sent each member of this council a copy of a complaint that addresses multiple violations of law by 5 members of the Melbourne Police Department. I explained that Chief David Gillespie had, during a previous complaint, illegally changed my complaint from violations of law to conduct unbecoming, thereby removing it from internal affairs oversight and left it to the discretion of Supervisor Lieutenant Grenwell, who failed to follow policy regarding internal affairs investigations and supervisor inquiries, clearly stated his bias against.
Then comes another voice, calmer, but just as powerful. A local resident steps forward, not throwing accusations, but demanding clarity. Serious allegations are acknowledged, but the concern now is process. How will this council respond? Will there be an investigation, or will this be buried like so many other cases? Alright, this is where the system gets tested, because justice isn't just about guilt, it's about transparency.
Against me, refused to receive evidence and refused to investigate anything. He simply wrote a document concerning his opinions, passed it off as an investigation to Chief Gillespie, who certified that a complete and thorough investigation was performed to include reviewing all facts and evidence, thus lying on an official document. Chief Gillespie refused to explain his justification of Lieutenant Grenwell's report and falsely accused me of stalking his secretary in front of Mayor Alfrey to prevent further department interaction and destroyed the evidence to disprove his lie. Then Chief Gillespie told Internal Affairs Lieutenant Shore to drop investigating the many discrepancies and violations of policy in Grenwell's report. Chief Gillespie twice interfered with the investigation to protect his minions and steered the outcome to a predetermined result of unfounded. The city is already in turmoil now that it has become publicly known of Mayor Paul Alfrey's corruption and that Chief Gillespie allowed department use to aid the mayor in intimidation and other acts outside the department's jurisdiction. As we are nothing more than insects to them, both Chief Gillespie and Mayor Alfrey have established a corrupt environment where fabricating false charges for arrest, personally manipulating investigation, denial and destruction of evidence, illegally modifying public records, illegally denying discovery, coercion, intimidation, threats, humiliation, and lying to the people is accepted practice by the department. A system is clearly enacted to discourage complaints and absolve any members that have committed crimes, thus removing accountability and encouraging future criminal behavior. The police seek to punish anyone who expresses their First Amendment right by making multiple false charges, by intimidating, and by making false arrests, as they did to me. This council was notified of my complaint more than a year ago and stood idly by as Mayor Alfrey declared publicly he threw my complaint into the trash, making this council culpable in Mayor Alfrey's crime of violating the First Amendment right to redress grievances. The evidence I have proves beyond doubt that an actual independent investigation had been done of my complaint been performed. It would have resulted in a sustained disposition and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement would have been notified. It is my conclusion that Chief Gillespie's interference in investigations removes state oversight and shields accountability and state suspicion of department criminal behavior. In a meeting with Mayor Alfrey and Chief Gillespie, Mayor Alfrey declared he protects his officers, presumably from those seeking accountability. That is why he threw my complaint in the trash. Chief Gillespie and Mayor Alfrey have prevented investigations to assure there is no accountability.
And now, it escalates. Another speaker drops a bombshell, detailing alleged misconduct within the police department itself. Claims of interference, destroyed evidence, and manipulated investigations start stacking up fast. This isn't just about politics anymore, this is about a system that may be protecting itself. Alright guys, if even half of this is true, we're looking at something serious. Something that goes way beyond one office or one official.
Public knowledge of crimes committed by themselves and the department.
At the end of the meeting, Councillor Mark LaRusso, who was very good friends with the corrupt Mayor Paul Alfrey, and married, yet comments on pictures of naked women on Facebook for the world to see, kind of embarrassing, decided to tell the council how he and the city attorney have been conspiring to violate our First Amendment rights during public comment.
And the final thing is the public comments, the opening discussions, and everything else that we've been going through here. We've all been affected by it. And I've been working with Adam on a couple of different variables, and I'd like to bring I don't want it to be a huge deal. I would like to have a council discussion. I rarely ask for discussion processes because it can get lengthy, and we've got a lot on our plate coming. But I'd like to, address a couple of the suggestions that Adam has made. Is define personal remark, define boisterous, and delete disrespect. So if we can have that conversation as council on the opening comments.
Oh, you're referring to the sheet that I read?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir. I wasn't clear.
Yep, perfect.
If we could just do a retweak of that to see where we're at, and with your guidance, there's a couple things that have changed. So I think we should pursue it and see what the best deal is for us moving forward.
Just my 2 cents on it is, I don't know the last time this has been updated or what the last same things. I don't want to just limit it to that. Like, if they see other things that may need to be updated, can we just the whole thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the opening statement is a reflection of the code language itself, and so that's where Councilman LaRusso is referring to correspondence that I had sent you all about the public comment section.
But here's where things take a different turn. Instead of directly addressing the allegations, the council begins discussing rules, public comments, behavior, and limitations. Seriously? At a moment like this? Alright guys, when the focus shifts from accountability to controlling speech, it raises red flags. Are they trying to maintain order or silence criticism? Because those are two very different things.
And the public decorum sections of code, and things where, right, it was modified in 2024 after a somewhat unfortunate incident here at council and certain public comments from outside groups that weren't well taken. Nevertheless, based on more recent case law from here in Brevard County, right, Moms for Liberty versus Brevard Public Schools, right, we got some more clarity on what's allowable and not allowable within those public decorum things. So that's where my recommendations are coming from, right, is to make sure that everyone's on the same page about what it means to make a personal remark, what it means to become boisterous. Unfortunately, while that language about becoming disrespectful was added in 2024, I can't recommend that we enforce that particular provision. So we may as well delete it. So I don't know if a separate discussion item is necessary. I'm happy to draft a proposed ordinance and just bring it back to you, and we can have that discussion. I'll take council's direction and pleasure on that.
That's fine. I mean, that's fine with you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just wanting to be all inclusive, to make sure that we all had a say in the matter and what our feelings were about it. And either way,
And Vice Mayor, what they're talking about. I'm just getting consensus. Okay.
And Vice Mayor, some other cities, in particular, doing other things like what is a resident, defining who can actually speak, also as far as residents and vicinity and things like that too. So there may be some things to also consider.
The city had that language. I want to say it got removed from city code in about 2000. And there may be other issues with limiting the scope. I know Palm Bay recently did it. I know that other municipalities have language like that.
they're under and somebody's suing.
Yeah, I don't know if I would recommend.
As the meeting winds down, one thing becomes crystal clear. Questions were asked, but answers were nowhere to be found. The tension remains, the allegations linger, and the silence from leadership speaks louder than anything else. Alright guys, this is what accountability looks like when it's tested under pressure. The real question is, will anything change after this? Or will it all be ignored like it never happened?